It's just a continued, diligent, education of the horses and riders. I don't think there was like, we're going to do this on this day and it will lead, it's just the dedication and the attention to detail that...
I think that's the cool thing about David, though. There wasn't just one master plan. Like, everyone had a different plan.
We all had a job.
All those plans meshed together and the end result was made. I don't think that if everyone had the same plan, like, for example, galloping. My horse does not need to gallop as much as her horse. Like, everyone had a different plan, and I think that together was...
Yeah, absolutely. I think, David adds his deep wealth of knowledge to all of it, and he can look at each of us and figure out a plan, and if we're all clear on what we need to do, we can get our results that we need to do, and if we all follow that plan, it goes together for this big result. So the master plan, I think, is just attention to detail and like an individual program.
Mark Todd was stabled beside me. I wasn't expecting that, and he's been a hero of mine for eons. And I remember my first dressage lesson, I walked down to the ring, and in the dressage ring was Mark Todd and Andrew Nicholson, and I sat there for a good 25 minutes and just watched, and I looked to my left, and it's like, Pippa Funnel schooling her horse. I'm like, I literally sat there and was like, I'm in this like dream world of all my heroes, all the people I look up to, and I literally am watching them ride. And like, I've been to the Olympics and that, but like that to me was like a little bit surreal. Other than that, I don't think there was too many surprises. I mean, we were well prepared, and but that just for me was, I was like, that's Mark Todd.
And we were all like, yeah, we know. No, that was the big thing. The first couple days that we were there, every time you turned your head, there was somebody that you had a picture of on your wall when you were a kid. And I'm like, really? Like, but I think as we drew closer and closer to the actual competition, we were all able to just be confident enough that that all kind of went away. I know for myself, I let myself be really excited about it for the first couple days, and then it was like, nope, it's normal, I fit in. Just keep telling yourself, like, fake it until you believe it. That was, the thing I probably was surprised by the most was how normal it all felt by the time the competition started.
I had about 200 more friends requests on Facebook.
Yeah, same here.
All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm a celebrity. But no, like when we walked in, I was just looking at this picture of us on the podium, and we have a silver medal from the World Equestrian Games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's at my house, and I walk by it, and like you stop and take a little look. Like, it is surreal, and I mean, there's no way that couldn't have changed things. Like, you get more little kids coming up and wanting to talk to you, and it's obviously, well, hopefully going to open up some more doors for like sponsorship and horses for us as riders to ride, and it's only going to do good things for us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think now I personally know less friends on my Facebook than I don't. So that's kind of funny, getting used to the attention and kind of your Facebook page turning into a little more of a like public thing rather than like you go on there to talk about how grumpy you are today. It becomes a little more of like a public eye, and so that was a bit of a curve. But then for me, yeah, I just keep hoping that it's going to open up more doors for more horses. Obviously, Ollie is my only one, and I would love to have something for him. He's 13 this year, so...
He's young.
Well, I know. I mean, I honestly think, we have a good few years left, but after that, I would love something else to ride. The biggest change for me has been being carded. So my little allowance definitely helps me to not panic at the end of the month when I think about the bills that are due at the beginning of the next. Before then, there's a song that's called "Too Much Month" at the end of the money, and that is how my life feels a lot of the time. But with the Sport Canada carding, gives you a little extra cushion, so you don't have to worry so much. So yeah. I think he'll prepare us for the transition, and I think that whoever comes in to fill his very large shoes in this job will have a very good understanding of how what he has done has built us. And I think that, you know, us as riders will have a better sense of what our job really is, and we're never going to lose the things that he taught us. And we just have to make sure that the next person who comes in is able to keep the kind of structure that he had.
Okay, so we're not going to suck.
No, we're not gonna suck. No. No way, man. We got a good base. Like, we're going up. Like, watch out.
Okay, good.
Well, and honestly, like when he called and said, you know, this is what I'm doing, I was so crushingly disappointed, but I think all of us have a good enough personal relationship with him to want the things that he wants for himself, and I really do hope that, you know, everything that happens for him is what he really wants.
Yeah, like I actually was under the understanding that that's what he really wanted to do, you know, was to coach us, and then he always wanted to coach.
It's a stepping stone.
You know? I just hope we have people fighting for our coach's job. You know, Tina Hoy, Andrew Hoy, welcome. You know, I take that. No. You know, like I think, you know, we're as a country now. Like, hopefully, people are going to. There should be fighting for that job. That's an exciting thing to be a part of. Like, it's a big future, and you know, hopefully, if David doesn't come back, I hope people are knocking on the door saying, hey, I want to coach those kids coming up. Like, it's an exciting job, I think, for someone.
It'll be big shoes to fill, but at the same time, it'll be a great program to jump into for someone else.
And how
There's 45 horses declared for the Pan Ams.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's changed. Like in probably the last two and a half years, all of a sudden we have a base. And it's not just a random base, like good horses, really good horses,
and people
really
with several.
good, really good young riders. You know, and then you have like Kelly Temple, who has been on the team for how many years? She's got some seriously nice horses coming up. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Like, it's not just going to be like, oh, I've declared I'm going to be going. Like, you have to go prove yourself. And, you know, I think it's very exciting, actually.
I agree. I think that, you know, what was it this year? We had our, you know, 4-team, 2 individual, and then a handful of others. And I think the next World Equestrian Games, we're going to have a big, fat, long list of people who don't even get on the squad. I think it's just going to, I mean, obviously things are cyclical and it'll get better and then it'll get smaller. But I think for the next good chunk of years, it's going to be competitive. I don't think it's that.
Or is it people switching?
Cyclical a little bit, but then I also think that, you know, with somebody as high profile as David as the coach, I think that attracts people.
I was just going to say, I think more people are just recognizing eventing and getting involved. I know I started, for example, going home and teaching clinics at Harmony Farms, and first clinic I had like maybe 6 people, and now it's like there's a wait list. Like, people are getting excited about the sport and want to be part of it. And you know, like I go home and teach, and I see all these young kids, you know, year after year they're getting better, and like I always talk to them about goals and dreams, and they're like, we want to be young riders, we want to go to the Olympics. And I'm like, awesome, that dream, it's got to start somewhere. And it's, to me, if you don't have a dream, like, I don't know, like, it's not really worth it. Like, I don't care what it is, like, dream to go to Young Riders, dream to go prelim at Maple Ridge. Like,
as long as it's a goal.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see. It's going to be really interesting in the next couple of years what's going to be happening.
And, you know, success breeds interest in more success, so.
And what